Hey guys, what's up? AWO here. I hope you all like that little Seahawk thing I did. I know it was just you know, just a troll bit, just to have a little fun. But yeah, they get that Funko Pop of Seahawk in today. That was fun. But yeah, I'm doing a stream on Witcher, Blood Origins, the prequel to The Witcher, basically. Before we get into that, if you're new here, subscribe, down below or at the end. Also, smash the like button down below if you like. And share this out with your friends, family, colleagues, anywhere on social media, or just tell people word of mouth. Okay, okay. I'm a little, like this. This. I'm sorry. It's just that this show. I'm gonna just flat out say it. It's shit. It's completely shit. Okay. It's horrible. Really, really bad. And I like The Witcher, the first two seasons on Netflix, and I will watch season three. And I know Henry Cavill's leaving the show, but I still will watch it. Okay, it's just that this show's really, really bad, and there's gonna be spoilers involved because I frankly don't care. If you care, don't watch the stream. But you had from Sunday to watch, really. So it's a really, really bad show. I don't know. It's oh, how can I say it? I know it says really bad. I think it's worse than any of the Disney Plus shows, HBO shows, definitely HBO shows, any of them. Even the worst Disney Plus show, this is better than. This is better than the worst HBO show, better than the worst Amazon show, worse than the worst Amazon show. I really think this is the most hated show I've watched this year, personally, and I love the Witcher series. It's just really, really bad. And look, I understand the story of this. Like, look, some of it made sense. It's just the fighting scenes, the dialogue. Even though I did understand what it led to. I mean, I this is a prequel. I know what this is. They did this on purpose because for season three, because some things in this show, which will be spoiling into, do affect season three of The Witcher. It's coming up in the summertime, spring or summertime. It's and it's fortunately, fortunately, I would say watch the first two seasons of Witcher. And this show, I would personally, I would say not watch this show. But if you're gonna watch season three, you kind of need to watch this show. That's the sad thing. You kind of need to watch this show to understand possibly what season three is gonna be about. And yeah, and you're gonna be subjected to torture, man, watching season this show. So let's look. This show is only 4 episodes. Okay, the first episode is a little over an hour. Then the other episodes are between, I would say, average around 50 minutes. So we complain about the Disney stuff, the Disney Plus shows are 6 episodes, right? Some of them are 6 episodes, and we complain that they need to be longer so they could drag out the story to develop a story more. I can tell you one thing: this show definitely needed that. Okay, this show is 4 episodes long. But this show definitely needed more than 4 episodes. This is definitely one of it really showed here. It really showed how bad the show made it. That that it needed more, that it was too short of a series, because there's a lot of things rushed here in this series. A lot of things rushed, and when you rush things, the story is not as good. It's not good. It's incoherent. It's Degrassi. It's sadly, I like the first two shows, the seasons, but I liked it, but I hated this show. But I watched it because it's The Witcher, and I knew some of it's gonna like impact season three. And the sad thing is, you have to watch this to understand season three. Okay, and I know Henry Cavill left The Witcher, obviously because of creative differences, right? There's creative differences. I don't believe that bullshit about him being toxic on set. Okay, especially with the females on in the production on set. I know I saw that about 1 or 2 weeks ago. Stuff it came out, but I think that's bullshit. It's almost made Henry Cavill sound really misogynistic, right? I don't believe that for a second. I think, obviously, no, I don't think. We know he left because of creative differences. This is not the stuff he signed on for when he wanted to do the Witcher project for Netflix. Okay, he didn't leave. He wasn't misogynistic. I think that's bullshit. Okay, because that post, what I read about that made him sound really misogynistic. Really, I don't think that's the case. They just had creative differences with the showrunner, the writers, directors, who's ever in charge of this, the storytelling, right? And obviously, once I get back to the big screen or something like that, but that's different. Okay, but this show is really 4 episodes long. They needed to be more. The cast, you recognize some cast members in this show from other things. It's not, but I only know two. Honestly, I only know two people, recognizable faces in this show. Two people, and that's Minnie Driver. Minnie Driver. You probably have heard of her if you're watching this show. This show on my live stream. Minnie Driver. The thing is, she narrates the story. Okay, this is a narration of what happens before The Witcher. 1,200 years. Okay, this is 1,200 years in the past before The Witcher. For the first book and the first season. So she narrates the story. She tells the bard, who's your Daddy Lion or Jasker or whatever, Jasker or Daddy Lion, about the history of the Witcher universe world. Because the thing about this is fantasy. This franchise is fantasy, but there's a lot of science fantasy involved in it too. Has to do with worlds and universes, really. Okay. Yeah, Minnie Driver. Yeah. Okay. So she's in it, but she narrates the story. Okay. So she's not really in it, right? She doesn't do anything. She just tells the story. So she's only for 5 minutes, really, basically. Okay. And then the other recognizable face is maybe most likely might win Best Actress of the Year at the Oscars, Michelle Yeoh, obviously for her movie, Everything at Once, her multiverse movie, she might win that. She's in it too, okay? And, this is a typical Michelle Yeoh, obviously. It's a Witcher, obviously, kind of stuff that she does, She's like, I guess, a female version of Jackie Chan in a way, But she has done other stuff that's not her bread and butter, okay? Obviously. Because Jackie Chan, like Jackie Chan, for example, his bread and butter is action and crazy stunts too, right? But he's been in some other movies where he's been, more versatile, has more range, and some serious stuff, some, and he's a lot of his stuff is comedy and action, but he's been in some stuff where it's not like that. Michelle Yeoh too. Michelle Yeoh has been like that, but her bread and butter is really like Jackie Chan's bread and butter, and this is basically her bread and butter. But it works for here because it's a Witcher, and it works for her character here, so it's fine for this. Okay. Now, this story revolves around basically a cast of 7 people. And this world is basically the world we're in is all there's only 2 races among the world, right? There's no humans yet. There's elves and there's dwarfs. You really don't see any dwarfs. There's only one dwarf you really see in the whole two dwarfs actually, but the second dwarf is not important. But it's really based on elves, right? And there's an empire, right? And the empire is struggling to find food, resources. Obviously, and there's the princess or the queen, no, the princess, and her brother is the king is running the show. Okay, and she has obviously a bodyguard, someone who watches over her, and he kind of has feelings for her. And what happens is it's forbidden. It's forbidden, obviously. It's forbidden for somebody not of like a royalty stature, or like to get involved, intimately or stuff like that. But they kind of do get involved, or you see they're having sex, okay? But he got caught, and the punishment wasn't death or anything like that. It was actually worse than death. Exile, your dignity, your dignity, dignity. Oh shit, I can't say it. Oh my god, your pride, your dignity, everything's taken away from you. You're banned from the kingdom, obviously, right? Like it's basically exile. Okay. So that's one of the members. There's about 6 or 7, okay? Then there's this elf who's a bard. If you know what a bard is somebody who plays music, right? Obviously. There's a lot of people in modern day. Like basically bards now they play with a guitar, right? With guitar. But bards are basically nobody calls each other a bard anymore, but the bards are still out there. They're still out there. I mean, what? They're still out there in real life. We just don't call people bards. Bards are a very medieval term, obviously. So we meet this bard, and it's a woman. Apparently, she has a backstory that she's royalty too. And there's in this world, the elves have different clans, and they're all at war with each other. Okay, they do not like each other. They hate each other. They went to war with each other. Okay. So this woman was a bard, but also an elf, part of a clan. But she's also part of royalty, where she walked away from. I'm just saying, it's you know what? I'm not gonna give the whole story. It's really really bad. It's horrible. Like, and then these 2 main characters I've discussed, they hit each other first, and it's a typical love. It's a typical trope that we see in a lot of other media, where we have people are rivals, one woman, one male, or rivals. They hate each other, and eventually, they have struggles, and then they have similarities, and they find out they're very similar in a way, and eventually they fall in love. Right? They fall in love. It's it's we've seen it a lot, but the problem is in this show there was only 4 episodes and it was rushed. It was really really rushed. Okay, that the relationship between the 2, and they're the main characters. And the guy does become the. I'm gonna I'm gonna spoil here. He does become really technically the first Witcher, but as a prototype Witcher. It's not. They haven't perfected it yet at this point. Because he was a first, and they didn't call him Witchers at the time. He was a first, and then it's you need a princess. All of a sudden, there's a lot of manipulating in this show. The princess turns out to turn on her brother, everybody else, and tries to take over the kingdom. And there's a bunch of villains. It's not just her. She becomes the empress, right? She becomes the empress. Not just her. Her mage also is pure evil too. And then who the one that leads the army. I wouldn't say exactly evil, but she does. There's a lot of manipulating. There's a lot of backstabbing in the show. I mean, it's Witcher, but there's a lot of backstabbing. It's really bad. Okay. As you see, there's these things called monoliths, right? Monoliths. Apparently, you have access to other worlds, right? You're using magic to access other worlds. So the mage, his name Balor or Baylor, I forget his name, goes to that world. He wants to be more powerful mage, right? He wants to gain this magic called chaos magic. Yeah, where we heard that before, chaos magic. But it's different here. He's approached by like a spirit kind of thing in this world, telling him how he can get powerful. It was really, really bad. And he's manipulating everything. And I don't know. I'm not probably explaining it the best. I'm sorry. Because that's how bad it is. Okay. So so really there's these monoliths, right? And it can teleport you from one monolith to another monolith, right? Yes. You got me, obviously. There's no monsters in this world yet, right? We'll get the reason how monsters and humans get to this world, because in the Witcher universe, before everything, I wouldn't say it's a multiverse. It's not a multiverse, okay? More like different dimensions, more like different worlds, okay? It's not a multiverse. It's not like there's another Gerald out there. It's more of a dimensions, okay? Another world. And they're kind of sorcerers or mages at the time, but there was really no monsters, except there's this one monster that the Empress had. The princess becomes the Empress, manipulated everything. And it was fucking horrible. I'm sorry. I'm probably not explaining the best, man. I'm sorry, really. Here's the thing is, I don't even remember the names of the characters. Except one, Avalek and Earskin is his name. I think Earskin is the dark the dark elf becomes who leads the wild hunt. That's in the that becomes important later on in the Witcher franchise lore. The hunt. It's the thing is, they defeat the mage, the Balor, or the monolith, and all of a sudden, the chaos magic, all of a sudden created some like a sphere, right? A sphere. You know they talk about the spear in The Witcher, and the spear. All of a sudden, that thing is like the world's. It's like a portal from a world opened up, and all of a sudden, these monsters. You don't see the monsters actually. You don't see the monsters go into that world, but you do see humans eventually fall in that world, in the elf world / dwarf world. Eventually, that's at the end though. That's at the end, and the elves are like in their language. They see a human. The elves have the ears, and humans don't, right? One of the elves was like, and one of the humans, elf was like, "What are you?" It's like the first time humans appeared in that world, and the humans over time, over the 1,200 years, become so dominant that the elves pretty much become second-class citizens, stuff like that, because they populate, right? We populate where elves live longer, so they don't have to populate as much, right? Unless, and that's immortality. Like that's immortality and say in a way that you don't age. They can still die, obviously, but it's different. And humans obviously do die, right? They're not immortal. We're not. Oh well, and that's the first time humans appear in that world, and coming with them are monsters. Monsters. We don't see any monsters. Well, we do see a monster like a giant centipede, but that's not in the last episode. That centipede come from a different world, obviously because of the spirit monolith, right? Um, you know what? I forgot to do something. But we do see in the town a bunch of posters of monsters and monsters being seen and obviously killing people, right? And obviously, what that leads to is the perfection of creating not a prototype Witcher, perfecting the Witcher. Okay, because like the main character, when the main character, like I said, the elf becomes the prototype Witcher, he loses control and he can't control himself eventually at the end, and his lover kills him to end his misery. But before that, before they go into battle to take down the Empress and the other villains, they have sex, and she gets pregnant at the end, pregnant. And unfortunately, the child, actually, I believe, does become the first Witcher. But the thing is, I guess it's different because I'm pretty sure in The Witcher, if you go through the ritual to become a Witcher, you lose you lose the ability to pregnant a woman. But I guess not. But I guess not in the early time. I guess not in the early times of the prototype. It's differently. But or maybe they did. Maybe they did it before he went through the transformation. I don't know. But apparently that the baby she's gonna have is gonna become the first Witcher that's gonna be in control of himself, where he doesn't lose control, and then the whole idea of creating these monster hunters to take down monsters that, like humans, come from the world, right? To hunt down these monsters. I know. It feels like Werewolf by Night, right? The monster hunters there. it's it's horrible. And look, I'm not hating on because of what I suppose a group is hating on it, because what their reasoning for hating on it, it's not my reasoning on it. It's just badly writing, rush. The writing was terrible. The action scenes were not good. I'm telling you, the choreography was not that good. Uh, it's sadly it should not have been 4 episodes. It's horrible. It's really, and they're stopped like I listened to a guy Emergency Awesome, right? Like what he thinks is happening is that this spirit that has a female voice will eventually have a physical form in the Witcher series. That she's ultimately the main villain of the whole Witcher thing. Because there's a bunch of villains in the Witcher overall story, right? There's Vegaport, who eventually becomes a villain, but he's not the overall. He's not the Thanos of The Witcher. Okay, if you remember, I mean, the Thanos, eventually Kang. He's not that. Okay, but and there's Ciri's father, who's the Emperor. That's been revealed in the episode, the last season too. They kind of rushed it, but they have to as a TV show. You can't go exactly according to everything in the books and the video games. Obviously, you can't with TV. You can't just also, there's and eventually we're gonna get the Wild Hunt. That was kind of introduced with the first member of the Wild Hunt in the show, when some of the elves in Irskin got trapped in that world. And this world was like once a paradise world, but apparently the spirit as a female, I'm saying it's a female because it has a female voice. Pretty much destroyed that world of all living things or whatever, and she's there, and she's the epitome of chaos magic, be it in the show or in the franchise. But they get trapped. He gets trapped with a bunch of other over soldiers, and he finds a mask on the ground of a dead, pretty monster and pushes it over his face, and so he becomes the first Wild Hunt dark elf, okay, who needs Ciri's blood to travel to other worlds or whatever or something like that. I don't know. And Ciri in the whole story of the lore is like the most important part of the whole lore because of her ancestry that she's descended from the elven blood and stuff like that. That's different, right? Like she's very important and she's so damn powerful. And then apparently the emergency awesome test, he thinks this female spirit, will eventually have a physical form and be the ultimate main villain of the whole Witcher stuff, the whole Witcher thing. Okay. I don't know, because I think she might be made up for the show, the Witcher universe on Netflix, and I'm gonna call it the Witcher universe on Netflix. Okay, the show is garbage. I know, Marcus. I know, and so I'm shitting on it. Marcus, I'm not being positive on the show, buddy. This show is not positive. I'm telling you. My stream is not positive. It's terrible. Probably. It's how's forspoken, buddy. Like I understand what's trying to do the show. I understand it. It's still bad. Ah, It's God. Now the crescent, and now there's also something in the Witcher universe called a Bifrost, which is basically shows Armageddon, the apocalypse. Also like Ragnarok. All these myths have the potential end of the world kind of stuff. Yeah, something like that. And Ciri in the Witcher lore is the only one who could prevent it. Apparently, Demos meh, huh? Is it the Bifrost? Is what they call it? I don't know. My Thor thinking. It's appears that the Bifrost has appeared in the third game, a Witcher game. They are going to make a fourth game, right? They are planning a fourth game. That's what they said. It's the thing is the Wild Hunt is going to be very important in The Witcher season 3, along with Ciri's father. They're kind of rushing it because the Wild Hunt didn't come around until actually the Witcher 3 video game. But these are based on the books, right? The show's supposed to be based on the books. But unfortunately, the books end when the last book ends. That's when Witcher 1 picks up. Witcher 1 is basically the sequel to the book, the last book of the Witcher series. So it's like right now they're doing the book, but some of the characters they're putting in the show don't appear in the book. Don't appear in the books. Like the Wild Hunt. Don't appear in the books. They appear in Witcher 3. They're mentioned, but they don't. In season 3, they're going to be in season 3, which is really it's based on the books, right? Well, not accurately, right? Not accurate to the books, obviously. Hey, Degrassi, you should play the Witcher games. They're pretty fun. You play Witcher 3, man. Hey, you like Brass to Grass. You like Brass to Grass. Hey, that game's full of them. Gerald and Yennefer have sex on a horse. Well, not really a live horse, but it's sad though because Michelle Yeoh is probably going to win the best Oscar for probably possibly the best movie of this year, but she has to be in this trash because this show really suffered from being 4 episodes and the bad dialogue and stuff. Like the rushed relationship between the two main protagonists was terrible. I have no problem with a show going or a movie, whatever, with two people that hate each other, two people that hate each other for all different kind of reasons. Eventually fall in love, right? But don't rush it, right? Don't rush it. And the movies obviously is different because movies are movies are meant to be 2 or 3 hours. In TV shows, you could get away with it more, right? Because you could do longer and you could do episodes, right? And that's why TV shows are usually longer to make. Filming a TV show is usually longer than a movie. You could film a movie in a month if you wanted to, really. But usually movies now like take 3 to 6 months now, maybe 3 to 5. Obviously, there's reshoots involved, obviously, but TV shows now, especially the ones with long seasons, like the CW, for example, the first few episodes of the new season will be showing, but they are still filming the show for the later episodes of that season. Hey, Arkham, um, right? TV shows take a lot longer to film. Like Charlie Cox basically said, they're gonna start filming in February to December, right? You know how many months that is? It's about 10, 11 months. And there's reshoots for those shows. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I know. Oh, there are some characters in the show that are from the lore. Some of them. Well, Marcus, you know the elves. You know the elves in before humans came along were basically the humans were like where the humans were in The Witcher. Okay, like they were top of the power. They had all the power. Uh, and then humans came along, and then humans took over and made the elves basically sex classes and stuff like that. And it's not like Marcus. I could accept making characters are not part of the lore if it's written right, if it's good. This was not good. Marvel does it all the time, guys. Marvel, DC does it. DC does it too. They put people in that are not from the comics, and sometimes it works. I'll give you a perfect example. Rachel Dawes. I think that worked. It could work. It's just all about execution, right? And the writing and the directing behind it. That's it. That's it. And Degrassi would vouch for me on that. It could work. But this show was just terrible in general. It was not a good show. Ah, and the sad thing is, if you're planning to see season 3, you probably need to see this show to understand season 3. Because there's a reason why they have this prequel show out before season 3. Instead, there's a reason why they decided to release this in December and not season 3 in December. That's because they want to have a prequel for season 3 because there's some connections between this prequel and season 3. Because usually the first 2 seasons of Witcher came out in December, around this time, 2019, December. 2021, December, right? But this time around, since season 3, they needed some stuff for season 3 that makes sense. They needed to come with a prequel, and they decided to release the prequel in December. And they're going to have the show come out in summer, as apparently as reported right now as summer. I don't know when the summer. It's just going to be from July to September. That's the unfortunate thing about watching the show. You kind of need it to understand season 3 a bit. And that's sad. Because I like the first 2 seasons of Witcher, but I hated this. And you know something? I like the animated short movie on Netflix about Vesemir. I love that. I like that too. But this is just flat out terrible. And I'm a little bit worried about season 3. And I really don't know if I would have personally. I'm not gonna end it yet, but at the end I'll tell you what I think you should do. Okay, what I think you should, in my opinion. Okay, but this show is just hot garbage. And the Rotten Tomato scores, people review bombing it. Here's the thing: it's not review bomb. I'm telling you, for this show, it's not. It's not. There's not. They're not bombing the reviews, man. It's legit. The Rotten Tomato scores you see on that, the show kind of deserves it. Okay, but there's some people saying the show is suffering because of the wokeness. The wokeness. I'm like, no, it's not because of the wokeness. It's because it's a shitty show. It's And I see some, it's the typical people who say it's failing because of the wokeness. No, it's not. It's not bombing because of the wokeness. The reviews are bad. Okay. The reception is terrible. And rightfully so, man, because it is that bad. It's terrible. It's a torture to get through, really. And you know what? I can't believe I chose that scene Glass Onion first. I gotta see Glass Onion because I know that's good. I know that's good from all indications. I gotta see that. Maybe on the weekend I'll watch Glass Onion. I'm making Matilda a shot. I don't know, but really, God, I'm not worried about season 3, and then I'm really worried about season 4 with Liam Hemsworth because no, I have nothing against the guy, but he's not a good actor. But the thing is, to play a character like Gerald, I don't know how good of an actor you really need to be for that character like that. And I understand. Yeah, I heard good things. I gotta watch it. And with Henry Cavill, he's doing Warhammer, something he really loves. You know? Is this okay? Okay. So I'm gonna end this in about a few minutes. So okay, this is a hard part for me to do. This is really hard because I I either say usually when I review stuff like this, I say I recommend seeing it or not recommend seeing it. Okay, but I'm gonna go a little different here. If you're into the Witcher stuff, the Netflix, you might have to see. You might need to see this. Okay, for season 3. So yeah, but if you're not into that stuff, don't see this. And if you just hate the Witcher Netflix stuff, don't see this. Okay? So if I recommend it, in a general sense, no. But if you love the Witcher lore and you love the Netflix stuff, yes. Okay? It's not good. But if you love the Witcher lore and you want to see season 3, I recommend you seeing this show. And I hate saying that because I'm gonna make you're gonna get tortured, man. But in general sense, I wouldn't recommend it. It's like it's only a show for the fandom, okay? That's how I'd put it, man. I'm sorry. Like I did it. I watched it because of that. I really hope Netflix decides not to do any more stuff like that. Just do the Witcher series and that's it. But yeah, like once again. I would not, in a general sense, I would not recommend this. But if you really like the Witcher shows, and you want to get ahead, and you really want to know, and you really, if you really plan to watch season 3, yeah, I would recommend this just because of that, because you kind of need to know some stuff from this show. But if you don't care at all, then I won't don't see this. But once again, I want you to thank you all for liking and subscribing. You know what's happening. You know what's happening. You know what's happening. You know what's happening. MME is presenting you his first movie, Jarbo versus RMB, Donald Justice. It's breaking news. You hear it here first, folks. Jarbo versus RMB, Donald Justice. Yeah, I know you heard that, Degrassi. I almost caught. You know what? I almost caught a foreskin demo. I'm like, what foreskin? All right, I'm gonna end it here though. Oh, check out my video I made today. Had a little fun today. A little joke video I made today. Check it out. I know Degrassi saw it, but go check it out. It's just click on my channel, man. That's all you gotta do. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment below. Also, MME Tonight Max's channel and us. This is my reaction to it. Who, who, who is he gonna talk about once again? Um, you know, Gunn. Yeah. Once again, James Gunn. Degrassi. Anybody on the chat? Years ago, Max used to make videos about. I like Max. We used to make channels about The Last Jedi, Ryan Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, right? And he got a lot of views. He got a lot of people commenting on him. He got a lot of views. He's found his new target. No, he didn't find his new target. He's got his new target, and that's James Gunn. But yes, once again, like, share, subscribe, and MME later tonight, guys. And I think Eddie might be alive. I'm not 100% sure. Oh no, he's not live. Okay. But Brian is going live tonight, so yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Nothing else to say. But yes. Also, I will be doing some more streams and more videos. Okay. Like tomorrow, it's a wrestling stream, but I'm getting a bunch of wrestling cards and to deliver to me. I might do an unpacking of them. Maybe get something good. But yeah, take care, guys. Remember Max and me tonight, and Brian's tonight, but around the same time, unfortunately. All right, take care, guys. AWR is out.